can't get so close to the heat of what's going on at the other end. So you've got to figure out. They have to figure out a way over the millennium. They have to figure out a way of getting my air into something which is extremely hot without getting right on top of it. So, oh, there you go. Eitan Yehuda has a glass blower. Look at those lips. Look, you see, the thing is that if you can see this, that's a piece of glass. But that piece of glass starts off with a little bit of sand-like material. They heat it up very strong until it becomes almost like a liquid. But it's a liquid which sticks to the fibers of it, don't separate. Liquid would just blow all over the place. This doesn't. It blows into a balloon. If you would touch that right now, you would burn your finger off. It's extremely hot. But this whole tube here, am I right? It's about 5 feet long. Is a way to get the air into this glass balloon. And because it's gamish, it's growing and growing and growing. And it's not growing into any shape in particular. It's only afterwards he has special tools, which he's taking it and he's making it into glass. I'm not telling you all this to show off my knowledge of how glass is being made. But what I'm thinking is that I think the mushal is a very exact mushal to what's going on. So the Bartei de Rabbi Gamliel says that that mushal klischuchis. So the basar v'dam is blowing. He's blowing into a pipe, and from the pipe is coming out the air, and it's animating, if you will, the glass, or at least shaping the glass. And then there's another thing that goes on here, and that's the Maisa of Bnei Adam, which is taking it and giving it more shape. That's a piece we never talked about. It's giving it more shape. So if you understand that, and he said, well, if a basar v'dam can do that, so certainly HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do that. And what's the kasha? He did that. That's how come we're here. So he could do that again. If the whole thing doesn't work out, the glass shatters, it comes out the wrong shape. There's impurity in the glass. The impurity of the glass, agav, if you see glass which is impure, that's because the chaimer is impure. It's got nothing to do with the breath. It's got nothing to do with the blower. It has to do with the impurity of the element itself. So today, glass 100 years ago, or if I look at my grandmother's glasses, you can hardly see through them. Not because they're dirty, but because they just didn't have the purity. So what they would always do is put a color in them, and the color would hide the impurities. Today, glass is much transparent. Glass is a big, beautiful. I love glass. Glass is a fantastic chomer, and you can make it so strong. Glass can be bulletproof. It's like pellet. Airplanes have glass. Just amazing. Glass, glass is the most fragile of all things. By the way, the biggest glass man in Israel, if you ever want to get really design, I should charge him for this, really designer glass and get things in here, like tables out of glass and things like that. The guy in Herzliya by the name of Shviro, which is ironic. So I know him. So he's the glass guy. He's the guy that all the real big architects and decorators go to, Herzliya. So that's glass. Now the glass doesn't work. You break the glass, you heat it up again, and you do it again. So you have Tchias HaMesim of the glass. So the Bartei de Rabbi Gamliel said that we have a Kal V'chomer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We died. At May of Esrim we died. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes the same chomer and blows life into it again. So this is the Gemara that the Nefesh HaChaim is using to explain the Neshama. Interestingly, at least to my limited knowledge, I don't know anybody, meaning I don't know anybody, I didn't see any of them of Arshim. They used this Gemara to explain the Neshama. This was it's a Gemara, like a story of Shluchis, but he's saying no, it's a very, very exact science, Nefesh HaChaim. And so in this case, in the Nimshal, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Saw Kivyachol. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is blowing. There's the pipe, and then there's the person. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. Very, very important. And what we understood until now is that there's three things. This is what we learned. Parak Yud Aleph, Parak Yud Beis, Parak Yud Gimel, Parak Yud Dalet. There's the Nefesh. We have our Nefesh. We have, that's like our personality maybe. We have our Ruach, which is our ability to talk, ruach mamalala, and we have our neshama. No, that's not what's going on here. You don't say that you have the blower, you have the pipe, and you have the glass. You have a process here. What we're talking about here is a process. And the process begins with the blower and moves to the end of nefesh. Nefesh means end. Al derech haloshin shavas vayin nafash. This is the end of the pipe, the end of the tunnel. So what you really have here is what the Kabbalah call Nekuda Kav Shlit'a. I'm not saying this three new lashonos to confuse you, but it's actually a nice lashon. But it's you have the Nekuda, which is where the Neshama comes from. Man de nafach midilei kon nafach. Hashem is blowing of himself, kiviyachol. That's the Nekuda. That's where the whole thing starts. Then you have the Kav, the pipe. It's a Kav. This is just a delivery system. That's all. And then you have the Nefesh. This is where it's all going. So when we talk about the Nefesh, Ruach La'adam, Nefesh is where it's all going. Ruach, and this is new, is the delivery system. And the Nekuda is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Naran, is not just, I said a couple of days ago, which was not exactly correct, but it's where we were holding at the time, that it's all called Neshama. Like Neshama is a catch-all word for the whole thing. It's not just a catch-all word. It's Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama are not three things. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama is a process. I want to understand as well. It's a process. Starts with the Neshama, goes to the Ruach and the Nefesh. If you'll skip ahead in Nefesh HaChaim, don't do this, but I'm telling you, he says, the Neshama is not here. The Neshama is at the beginning of the pipe. We're at the end of the pipe. And this, I believe, is a, lack of a better word, a political remark, which is going against the Balatanya. Because the Balatanya is, so much of a sefer is devoted, if I understand it, to the fact that the Neshama is here. We are walking gods, so to speak. We have God within us, which is very beautiful. Chassidus, we have God within us. The Shitas HaGra is we have the Shechina within us. We have the Kochos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu within us. We were created by the godly Ruach, but we're not God. This, the Gon, this very, very subtle point, you have to be a Gon, like a Vilna Gon, to really understand how the subtlety can create Lahavdil Olav Havdalos Yeshu HaNoitzri, or a Shapsite Tzvi. This is it's a very, very, or Adi Avodah Zarah. It's a very, very subtle point as to what part is the Nefesh, what part is the Ruach, and what part is the Neshama. But we're talking about a delivery system. That's what we're talking about in what we're learning here today, which is Nefesh HaChaim. And it starts Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. It's all one thing. It's all one piece. So let's let's examine the making of glass. Nimsa by Gimel B'chinos, there are three parts to the process. B'china Rishayna Hikishinashimas Hahevel Buadayin Tachpiv. There's the glass blower. You can't just blow. You have to take a deep to get a good breath out there. So that's the first part. Now I've got this breath that I've taken up from deep, deep within inside of me, right? So it's like if I'm going to give a really good blow. So Kiviyachol, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is really taking a real neshima. And by the way, this is not necessary for life. Right? He didn't do this with rabbits. They're alive. They're not necessary. This is something different. So Hanashimas HaHevel Hi Adayin Tach Piv, Koidem Bolo L'toch Halal HaShveiferes HaChalula, before it even gets into the pipe. Eli Kroisa Ela B'Shem Neshima. That's a neshima. V'abachina Hashem is, now what happens in the process? Kishenichnas HaHevel L'Bolo L'toch HaShveiferes V'Nimsheches K'may Kav. So remember, Nekuda, Kav, Shetach. Az Nikra Ruach. So when we talk about Ruach, the Ruach HaKodesh, Ruach Kodshecha Al Tikach Minani. B'Medayik, that we're talking about the ruach, the delivery system.
Why is it tikach mimeni? It's not there. It only was.
Keep it blowing. Keep it coming. That's all. Just keep it coming. Keep the ruach coming. Ruach kodshecha al tikach mimeni. Just like look at the words like so pasha. The ruach kodshecha al tikach mimeni. Don't move to another piece of clay. We're okay.
Yeah, if the last blower stops blowing before the air gets all the way down to the bottom,
Also true.
it's not going to go.
Also true.
It has to be one continuous breath.
Right. And what do you get if instead of having a glass blower at the front, you have a machine? So then you write on the person, made in China. Like this doesn't have the kedusha of ruach hakodesh. Ruach hakodesh. B'abachina hagimel hatachtoina ikishiyotze haruach me hashreiferes l'toich haschuches nefesh. Umispashetes b'toicha ad shenasas kli k'vi ritzoin hamizageg. So I mentioned this is what we say on Yom Kippur, right? Like kischuches biyad hamizageg. Ritzoy lishbar. You might say, no, this glass didn't come out right. Smash it, throw it, let's burn it again. We don't want that. But that's what we're saying on Yom Kippur. But if he wants, he's Makayim. So this is Kischuchis Biyad HaMazagi. He's talking about the Neshama. Oz Machli Ruchai, Menikra Oz Nefesh. The Ruach ends here. The Ruach stops here. L'shoin Shvisa Umenucha. Shavas Vayi Nafash. So Nefesh doesn't mean breathing. Nefesh means stopping. Neshima means breathing. Ruach is the delivery system, and this is extremely important. Kain b'dimyan zehu inyan hagimel b'chinas naran shemushpaim kivyachol min shimas pivis baruch shmai. Kivyachol, we're starting with HaKadosh Baruch Hu sheb'chinas hanefesh hi b'china tachtona she kula b'toich gufa adam. Kula b'toich gufa adam. All of this ends up b'toich gufa adam. U'b'chinas haruach, for more beer, u'ba derech eirui nilamala. It's a bit of a mixed metaphor, because we're talking about wind. Now we're talking about eirui. Eirui kli rishon, eirui kli sheni. So we know, in halacha, there's a kli rishon. That's ala eish. There's a kli sheni you pour it into. In other words, you take something that's on the fire, and you put it into a cup. So your teacup is a cliche. That's not a kli rishon. That's a cliche. Kli rishon is ala eish. If something that's mutter to put into a cliche, that's what everybody mistakenly calls a kli rishon. And then from there, if it's kalei bishul, you put it into a kli shlishi. Let's say tea bags are kalei bishul if they are. So if it's kalei bishul, so now you need a kli shlishi. Kli shlishi is not mavashel. Kli sheni is not mavashel. But it was a kli rishon, kli sheni. But now you have a concept, just to make it clear, of eirui kli rishon, eirui kli sheni. Now what's the din? This is a kli rishon. This is a kli sheni. What about the water that's coming from here to there? That's eirui kli rishon, just a little chazar of Hilchos Shabbos. So do you say that this is called, the water is called kli rishon because it's ala eish, or are you saying it's called the kli rishon because it hasn't yet been cooled off by the kli sheni? Like the old timers pour water like this to make it cooled off. I don't know why we don't do that anymore. But that's what they used to do. You just pour from cup to cup, coast to coast to clear it off. Kli sheni, kli shlishi, kli revi, right? You still do. During old time. Is it the fact that it's not a kli rishon makes it a kli sheni, or is it the shot that it hit the kli sheni and therefore it cooled off? Machlek is the Rambam and the Rashba in terms of eir kli rishon. Does have a kli rishon and a kli sheni? What we're talking about here, and I'm saying again as a mashal, is we're talking about irui. B'chinas haruach hu ba derech irui, eirui milamala shechelik v'katza elyon shalai. And this is Moshe's point, that the first part of the wind is kasher v'nachaz lamala b'chinas hatachtoina shal neshama. So interesting. Moshe says that if you don't keep blowing, nothing's coming out the other end. It doesn't just keep on traveling by itself. For whatever chemical reason that is, scientific reason that is. How do I know, says Nefesh HaChaim, that it's derech irui milmala lemata? So now we're envisioning not just wind, but we're envisioning something being poured into a pipe. We're already going into a plumbing system here. So you're starting with Ribbon Shalom. You're going into pouring a pipe. Pipe is a delivery system. Sachakol, a pipe is a delivery system. You don't even see the pipes. They're in the wall. There's a pipe. Ad ya'are aleinu ruach mimarim, says Yeshayahu. Ad ya'are aleinu ruach mimarim. The wind, the ruach, is being poured into us. Eshpoich es ruchi. So he just changed this to a liquid model. Yoel, shu mushba ba'odam derech shvicha ve'eroi kanal. So this is a beautiful understanding of the mechanism or the process of delivery of the Neshama. Let me ask you a question. Does this happen every minute, or did this happen once at the beginning of creation?
No, saying it's continuous.
How do you know?
We're still living. No, we said.
Glass is glass.
No, I think it's a diamond.
You know, it's a glass.
Will not fit the muscle. It seems that it's continuous.
Why?
But the glass, once the form of the glass is done, you detach yourself.
No, I know why it's not. Why do you say that it's? Why do you say that it's ongoing?
Because Ruach HaChaim means to not stop the life force from continuing.
Right.
So that's why the muscle and nushal doesn't flow.
So the mashmois is that there's two things. There's it's just like I always talk about things I don't know anything about. My hallmark. But like we have our original DNA that we're born with, and then there's the each cell has its DNA, and we can work with that and create differences in our body itself. Correct? That's what we can do. So in other words, we're born. It's not echad. We're born, and that's what we are. That's our brains, that's our heart, that's our health, that's everything is there. The way we look, our nose, everything is there. That's our DNA. Even what illnesses, well, chas v'shalom, mi yichya, mi yamus, it's all there. On the one hand. On the other hand, there's hashgacha pratis. So the hashgacha pratis is such that what we are, the Arboim Yom Kodim Avlad, when there was a Gzeira on a person, that's one thing. And then the other thing is that that we can work with those cells. And we can do more with it, and this is the Ruach that's coming all the time. So there was this one Ruach Mimarom, apparently, which took place in Gan Eden with Adam HaRishon, and that's what we are, the human species, the Jewish human species, the Nefesh of the world. And then there's our individual Ruach, which David HaMelech talked about, and he says, Ruach, and Yeshayahu spoke about Noel, and then he spoke about Ruach Kotchecha Al Tikach Mimeni.
Again,
Jewish. Goyim is a whole different story.
I'm saying, you said the rabbits, they're alive.
Right.
It's not Ruach Kotchecha, but it's Chaim. They're alive.
They're just alive. We would be also just alive if it wouldn't be an ongoing process. But we do have that. We do have that show. So I want to just.
Is this Hashem Ruach Bahamas? Is this Hashem?
No.
Only Nefesh.
Right, Nefesh HaBahamas.
Right.
Let me explain two things here, which I think is first of all, I think it's very important to understand clearly what's ongoing and what happened. But let me just explain two things. Number one is the Arizal says, I don't know if I mentioned this, it's very important. Lashon Arizal. Shlovim shoinim shel knisas shel knisosam shel koichos ruchniim. The ruach is not even a one-shot deal or an ongoing thing. There's different shlavim. Shaz oivrim alav shnois hayinika. When we finish, you see in the Torah also the AC Gomel Oisai. This was a Zman. We don't look at this as a Zman, like it's not a milestone time, like you finish nursing, and it was like a kid. Like nobody's got like 3-year-old haircut, bris, bar mitzvah. Nobody goes, oh, weaned. That's not a case. But it should be because the Gomel site means 2 years old. It's Chavdal Chadoshim. Who gadol makabel haruach. He gets his. What happens like this is that at the bris milah, just to give you the whole arizal. We get a neshama when our boim yoim, after conception, is already a neshama. This is the lowest level of neshama. It's not something that could exist on its own. Look at it as independence, which teaches you a little bit about neshama. Can't exist on its own at all. Only exists within an embryo. When a baby is born, says the Arizal, I'll read you in a second, there's more neshama, more ruach. When a baby gets a bris milah, or in the case of a girl, a name, another piece of neshama is blown into him. 2 years old, another piece of neshama comes out yedei ruach, another blow. Bar mitzvah, another blow. 20 years old, another blow. There's shlavim, the Arizal's Megala, that you get different parts. This is the real celebration of a bar mitzvah. Different flow. Not only that. Here, I'll just tell you quickly his breakdown. Starts with the bris, goes to 2 years. Az nechasam by kaychas nefesh ad shavagil loinus haputosh begil sheish. Az yoser ad gil teisha. 9 years old should be yasei bia. You're old enough physically to get married at 9 years old. Az begil yud gimel hamakabel neshama. That's why you're chayav b'mitzvahs at yud gimel. You get a full-fledged neshama. Till then, it's just practice. Chiduch. It's nefesh.
What do you mean you get a neshama? The neshama is the source, and it's the ruach sends.
So the ruach is being mashlim the what we call the neshama, nefesh ruach neshama. Neshama ruach nefesh. So the shleimus comes at yud gimel.
The glass gets bigger.
It's glass. So let's what happens. I leave it to your imagination. Gil tesvav. At 15 years old, yesh lekolbat. This is like valuable information. What's going on? 15 years old. Yesh lekolbat kifei de'ima. You know what makifet de'ima means? Bina. You know what that means? Meaning makabel. In Kabbalah, there's Abba and Ima. So makifet de'ima means that the ability to be makabel, the ability to work something through ourselves. Look at it now as the glass. Now the glass is glass, and the mezageg now is doing a different avodah of shaping it. It's still hot. He's shaping it. He's giving it the bottle a neck. He's giving it ears. He's giving it. He's shaping this glass. Ben tesvav shanim. That's makifet de'ima. The work is done here. The work is not done there. What does it say in Pirkei Avos about 15 years old? The Talmud. Talmud means that's the Shas Bavli is all about Isarusa de Lasata. Makifet de'ima. That's makifet de'ima. Something that we're creating. Yud Gimel Dvarim Shatar Nidreshes Bahem. Kal V'Chaimer, Gzeir Shava, Melus V'Torah. It's not like Mikra, right? Which is a much younger age. It's about Mikra, Mishnah. Those are younger age. Talmud. Talmud means that we're processing. We're processing. Az b'meshach gimel shanim. Another 3 years of processing of makifet de'ima. Nechnasim b'pninim da'aba. Then we get ruach Abba. I'm not claiming, by the way, to understand this. I certainly do explain. I'm just giving you a picture of what's going on. Chlolos gimel brucha. Therefore, ben shmoina esrei l'chuppah. Chuppah means I'm a glass that can produce other glass. I'm a producer. Roy l'chuppah. Dahainu nukva v'havi ben chai l'chuppah. Ben esrim chai ba'oinshim. More happens. Arboim Labina, the Arizal's Mefarish, that whole Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, according to different levels of the Neshama that we're getting. So that's first thing, is it's not even, it's ongoing. it's not even that it was just once a debris and no more, and here we are, biological species, that man blew into our nostrils. It's a special koach that's happening for each one of us. At different parts of our life, different things are happening. There's milestones of different things happening at different times in our life process. So, we need to think about, like, everybody here's a different age. So we need to think about, like, what's going on right now. We need to think about what's going on when I'm giving my son a bris, or I'm giving my daughter a name, or making a bar mitzvah, or a bas mitzvah. Yeah, we need to think about our boim labina. Shishim lazikna. On my 60th birthday, I told a joke in my drasha that somebody came to a Rabbi and he said that very worried that he became a ben shishim, and shishim lazikna. He was a gazake. So he said, well, you used to be a ben arbaim labina, and nothing happens, so you don't have to worry about it. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means ben arbaim labina. There's a ruach of bina that if all things are going well, I mean, it's not such a joke. So then, if all things are going well, okay, wow, I can feel the ruach of bina, arbaim labina. It's a whole different level of bina.
So it's someone's rabbi to be makabel this nefesh, this extra nefesh, or they're going to get it anyway.
You got to be with the program or you lose it, because it's all has to do with what we do with it, and that's really the nakuda. What Darren is saying is really the nakuda that I want to say before we end here. That if you look, maybe next time I read it to you inside. So it's so important the Arizal that this is a ruach choizer. HaChaim said this at the beginning. It goes back. It's a circle. It's a circle, and it means to say that we get this ruach, but we also give back the ruach. Every time we do something, we give back the ruach, and the ruach goes into the pipe backwards. That remember the glass blowing pipe? It goes backwards into the pipe. Maybe it goes through a different pipe. I don't know. But it goes through it goes into a different system, gets back to the original neshima, and then goes through the pipe again. All depending on what we do with the neshama at the end, what we do with the nefesh. So in other words, as much as there's naran, neshama, ruach, nefesh, we don't call it that way. We call it nefesh, ruach, neshama, because it's what we do with that at the end. And this is the fixing of the glass that we're talking about. So what we do is we're blowing back. It's not just when you blow shofar, the Arizal says. It's also when you daven. It's also when you speak words of divrei Torah. And then when you do ma'aseh mitzvahs. Everything that you do with our nefesh is putting back that breath, literally putting the breath back into the system, and coming through in our neshamas. By the way, like, we're not new neshamas. This is the same neshama. We could talk about Gilgulim one day. Talk about Shabbos, but which is neshamas chadashos. But suffice it for now to say that this is not just a one-way pipe. It's a pipe that has an or chayzer, and it goes back around. That's the way Hashem designed the world. So it's coming. Yes. So the chidushim that we learned today is that, let me just review because it's sophisticated stuff. Number one is nekuda kav shetach, neshama, ruach, nefesh. Shetach is a good word because in modern Hebrew, when they talk about bashetach, they talk about like what's happening on the ground, in the field. Meaning you could have a war room where everybody, all the brainy guys are sitting there. You could have the pilots and the planes. That's a delivery system. But what's going on in bashetach? And it's the same thing in business, and it's the same thing in medicine. Bashetach is in the field, as you say. What's really happening? That's the nefesh. So say the Mekubal. So it all starts here, but if we just end here, we lose the war. The ruach is just a delivery system. It's what's going on in the field. What's going on? Bashetach, marolech bashetach. That's what we need to know, right? Otherwise, like there is like a pledge without a delivery, right? It's like, it's garden fair. That and a couple dollars gets her a cup of coffee. So that's bashetach. One. Number two is the delivery system. So it's not Nefesh Ruach Neshama, it's one delivery system, one system. The number two is that happened one big time. The Gemara says, Medrash says, Gimel Neficha say, there was the Neficha of Brias Adam, Vayipach Ba'ap of Nishmas Chaim. There was a Neficha of Har Sinai, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a nation, and there's the Neficha of Yitaka B'Shofar Gadol. Every time it's like blowing shofar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu blew into our nostrils. He blew shofar at Har Sinai, and Yitaka B'Shofar Gadol, and Bias Mashiach is blind. But that's the big national Neficha, the National Neficha Day, Shavuos, National Neficha Day, National Messianic Day, Bias HaMashiach. But there's also the individual Neficha, which the Arizal tells us comes shlavim, shlavim, shlavim throughout our life. So it's ongoing, but it grows and it grows and grows until we become beautiful, beautiful, complete people. And this whole time, we're giving back. What you have is what you have to give back. An 8-day-old gives very little back. A 13-year-old, more mitzvahs, chayim b'mitzvahs already. Chayim b'mitzvahs, you have to do Talmud Torah. Ben Tesvav, learn Gemara. You really have to be creating stuff. Ben Shemar Esrei, get yourself married. You really have to be doing stuff, etc., etc. Arboim Labina, now you really have something you need to be producing. But Arboim Labina, Ben Shishim Lazik. So what's happening with all those are not just chinuch markers. What they are different obligations of the neshama that's being given to us at every stage of life. And that's all being delivered back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then what? Comes right back down the pipe again. So we're building on ourselves, and that's where we're happy. Purim Sameach, Chag Sameach. Sunday is Purim. So what time do you want to learn?